After 9 months of delay in launching its heavily anticipated commercial flights between Miami and Tortola, BVI Airways has provided a reason, though a pithy one, for the holdup. The airline, in a press release on July 4, laid the blame squarely at the government's feet, stating that, quote, the original October 2016 launch date was contractually extended as a result of delays stemming from the government of the BVI, end quote. BVI Airways states further that the official launch date will be announced as soon as all outstanding obligations and matters between the parties have been resolved. The latest statement to the media comes 3 weeks after an announcement from Miami International Airport MIA on July 13 that BVI Airways will be launching MIA's first ever service to the BVI on July 22 with 2 weekly flights. MIA also said at the time those flights are scheduled for Saturdays and Sundays, arriving in Miami at 9:30 a.m. and departing for the Virgin Islands at 4:30 p.m. However, the CEO of BVI Airways, Jerry Willoughby, told the Virgin Islands Daily News that Miami International Airport jumped the gun in making that pronouncement, as the airline has not formally announced a start date. BVI Airways also confirmed that it has obtained and finalized all necessary regulatory approvals required to launch its non-stop service between Tortola and Miami. The airline says additional information and updates can be found at its website www.govbvi.com, which states at the top of its homepage, quote, regulatory approvals complete, flights to be announced soon, end quote. Meanwhile, opposition leader Andrew Foy, responding to the development to JTV News, says, quote, the people of the Virgin Islands must now decide if this present arrangement in question, signed by the NDP government to get direct flights to and from Miami to the British Virgin Islands, is a credible one, end quote. Here is what he had to say about airlift and its importance to the economy at the Territory Day ceremony on June 30th.
Financial services has been under attack for years, and the larger nations of the world are continuing this fight. This tells me that we really have to focus our attention on tourism, among other areas. And the experts in tourism have told us that if we hope to grow the overnight visitor business, then we cannot do it without airlift. And like it or not, this also means significantly improving through a credible manner our airlift and the extending of the runway to ensure a greater level of air access, especially with direct flights to and from the United States mainland, among other parts of the world. But the wise among us believe that now is not the time, that we cannot afford to get this done, but they're wrong. The truth is that we cannot afford not to. But how are we going to do it? The same way our forefathers built the strong foundation of these beautiful Virgin Islands. For the people, by the people, with the people.